Darren, welcome to my workshop. Now over the years I've collected a few different ways and even made a few different ways of finding the centre of stock, because it's something you have to do often. Whether you're marking something out for mortise and tenons, or you just want the right spot to drill so you can get the centre of something, or you might need the centre of the end of something for wood turning so you can mount it on the lathe. I've got a few different tools for doing these things, and now I've got one tool that does them all. But let's have a look at what I've been using up till now. So up till now, these are the items that I've been using for finding centre. This is a centre rule. Come here. It's got 0 in the middle, and you move out from there, so you can just drop it on something and you just move it sideways until the numbers either side line up. Or you could pick two measurements equidistant from the centre and then use those. So if we went with 60 and 60, like that and like that, and there we go. Again, there's our centre. Of course, you could do the same thing with a tape measure, and you could just come across and go, okay, we've got, let's say 100 and 300, and we use 200 as the centre. And so there we go. There's the centre of our board. The one I seem to do the most often is actually take a measurement and then either divide it by 2 in my head, or if it's a weird measurement, use a calculator. Because I'm doing big things, and so if you want to find the centre of a cabinet, you're not going to use this. This is pretty good. This works on the same principle I just showed you with the rulers, but we've got these two little glides, or 3 actually, 1 in each corner. So if we take our 2 little flat pieces, or 2 of our little flat pieces, and we just run those up against the edge like a fence, it's actually measured here. We've got a halfway point, and then there's also division dividing up into the number of pieces. So if we wanted to divide it into 9 pieces, we just draw lines at all our 9s, put your pencil in and slide it up. But this one falls down because the holes to put your pencil through are way too big. Even a 0.7mm pencil wiggles around in there. So it's a disappointment in that regard, and so I hardly ever use it. These are good. I 3D printed these, and they have actually already been in a 3D prints in the workshop video, so I won't go into them in too much depth. But basically, again, you line your little things up either side, pop your pencil in the middle and slide it up. And things like that are really good until you get near the end, and you can never, of course, get your pencil too close. This one's very good, works well. I use this one for wood turning mostly. You just pop your piece of stock in there if it's square, and you just draw 2 lines, and where the 2 lines intersect, that is your centre. This piece on this end is for round stock, and again you just draw a line, spin it, draw another line, and there's your centre. As you may know, I also recently bought this UG1 gauge, and this has a centre finder as well, on the same principle as this ruler, with 0 in the middle. And this one's good in that you can stand it up as well. So you don't have to hold it, you can just stand it on your timber, which is good, it's very handy. But in an effort towards perfection, I've bought something better. I've bought myself this centre finding gauge from Bridge City. As you can see, this has got quite a few knobs on it. These ones lock with this little plate, which are used for doing things like mortises and tenons. We'll get to that a bit later. These 2 are scribes. We'll have a look at the scribe underneath in just a moment. You've got your main scribe, and they called this one a spare scribe. And this knob here is for locking the unit, and the whole thing works basically. There's a couple of little, I don't think they're actually cogs, they're 2 little wheels, and there's cables in here. And so as you move one, the other one moves by the same amount. So this always stays in the centre, like this. And it really does stay central. It's great. This knob on the top locks it in place in case you need to do that. I guess that's good if you're using it a lot to say lay out mortise and tenons. You don't want it to move. But for the sake of finding centre, you don't necessarily have to lock this. You can just hold it with your hand like this and slide it. If I spin him around like so, on the back another knob for holding in a pencil if you want to use a pencil. Now I think I'll use a pencil today simply because it's going to be a lot easier for you to see it. Although really the beauty of this is the fact that it does a really nice crisp scribe line. I'm very surprised for something with just a point, but yeah, it's very good. Alright, let's look at how many different things we can do with it. So for our first test, we're just simply going to find the centre of a board. Now, so it's easier for you to see it, I'm going to use the pencil. What I've done is loosen this knob off a little bit and move the scribe point back a little bit with an Allen key, and then just tighten that up again. So now the scribe's not running on the wood, just the pencil, and that will allow us to find centre. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make sure that that is down there like that. Make sure that's touching the wood. I've got a little end stop here to stop the wood from coming towards me, so I can just hold this. Pencil's a little bit blunt now, but there we are. And unlike the other centre finders, I've been able to go all the way to the end, which is really handy. I'll just move that around, make sure you can see that. Now, how do we know that's central? Well, for one, we did it that way around. We could flip the unit and try again and see if the two lines marry up, which they do. We can also come in with one of our other centre finders and check that. And there we go, so I've lined that ruler up there. So you can see that's quite central according to that ruler. So just doing that one thing, I've already found it more accurate and easier to use than those. So those can go aside. I probably won't use those so often anymore. But I've still got a couple of other centre finders. And I think the big one is this one. Can it do the same things this one can do? So let's have a look. I mentioned this fella earlier for finding the centre of stock, for when you want to put it on the lathe for turning, and you go corner to corner, and where the lines meet up, that's your centre. Alright, but we're going to try this fella. I've popped the point back down, as I mentioned before. That's a case of loosening this off. This time I drove it down. Okay, so we're just going to come in. This is a square piece of timber. I've just measured it, so theoretically we should be able to just do one measurement, come down and give it a little press, and there it is. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can zoom right in. You should be able to see that now. It's right there. Can you see it? There you go. Now you can see it, right? Where I just put the pencil mark. So there's a nice little divot in there. It's actually fairly easy to see here with the naked eye. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to see if doing it two different ways gives us two different measurements, and then we'll know that this timber isn't quite square. I know it went in the same hole every time, so our timber is nice and square, and that is the centre. Alright, now let's see if we can find the centre of a piece of dowel, or a dowel. It's not a piece of dowel, it's actually quite a long dowel. Now this is slightly elliptical, not round, but let's see how we go. Hey. Yeah, there we go. I assume you can see that there. Let me put a little mark on it, in it, and there we are. And there's the centre of our dowel. Nice. Alright, so I could theoretically throw this in the out pile as well. I won't, I'll keep these tools, I'm not chucking them. But I should imagine they'll see significantly less use. Now, I did mention mortises and tenons, didn't I? So let's have a look at that. Alright, so I've got myself a piece of timber that is 0 yeah, Oh, yeah, you go. 16.84 millimeters wide. So, how big a tenon would I want on that if I was to cut a tenon? I think I'd probably, in something like this, I'd probably cut a 5 millimeter tenon. I like nice, easy measurements. I think going up to 6 might be thicker than we need. We could do 6. Let's do 6. A 6 would be a stronger tenon. You can see on the underside of the unit we've got these scales, metric on one side and imperial on the other. And on the top here we've got these two little knobs. We're going to just loosen those off. There we go. I'm going to open this up so I've got some room. And we're going to move this out for our 6mm tenon. So there's, get that line to line up there with that. Make sure you can see that that is 6mm. Whoops. And then we're going to lock these little fellas again. Now I've just marked that tenon out on the end grain, but it's not that easy to see there. I have put pencil mark in it now. But we're going to need to be able to do the shoulders as well anyway. So let's just mark those out, or at least one of them, for our imaginary tenon. Just going to clamp that in the vise there, and we'll just pop it here and we'll just do the shoulder like so. Oh, much easier on the side grain than it is on the end grain. That end grain was difficult. Alright, and then we're going to flip him around like this. Oh, that's lovely. Alright. And yeah, okay, it's not that easy for you to see, so I'm just going to run my pencil in the grooves that it's left behind. And we can see there's our lines for our tenon, but is it 6mm? Let me bring you in a little. We happy that's 6mm? I'm happy that that's 6mm. Okay. So now what you would do. Alright, now that was super quick and super accurate and easily repeatable. That was great. That's a fantastic way to lay out a tenon. And because I used the Scribe, I've just put the pencil mark in there so it's easy for you guys to see. And because I used a Scribe, the saw blade just sits right in there, ready to go, ready to be cut. Now I'm really pleased with that. That's really good. Now, of course, for a mortise, the process is very much the same as far as marking it out goes. So let's say we were putting our mortise in this other piece of timber. I know it's the same piece of timber, let's pretend it's not. And our mortise is going here. Again, we just come back in. We haven't moved our auxiliary fence here or our offset fence. That's still where it was before. There we go. And we'll just do a couple of scribe lines. That's it. Again, I'll run some pencil in there so it's easy for you to see. And that's it. That's where we would then cut our mortise. So the thing to do there then would be get a drill that's a little bit narrower than this, say a 5mm drill. We could come back, this would make it very easy. Come back, take that back to where it normally sits, so it's given us a centre. Tighten it up. We can come through there now with our centre line. Okay. And that's, whoa, gone off it with the pencil, but there we go. Okay, so by using the offset fence, I've marked the two outside lines of the mortise, and then by centering it again, I've drawn a centre line. We can use the centre line to drill holes down through the centre, obviously here, to the bottom of our mortise. I would use a bench drill or a press drill for this, and I would use a brad point drill bit, probably 5.5mm, which would bring us close to the edge, but wouldn't actually hit the edge, be perfect. Then I'd come back in and just tidy it up with a chisel. You want a narrow chisel, of course, for doing the cross cut down in the edge, but for cleaning up the face, this would do very nicely. And because it's been scribed, that chisel just sits in there beautifully. This is the third Bridge City tool I've reviewed, so I think it's time I reiterated the fact that no, they're not paying me, I'm paying them, I bought this. But I have had really nice service from them, they are very helpful. so I thank them for that. And of course the tools are really good, I really enjoy them. So yeah, look, this, I bought this when I had one of their specials on, as I have with their other tools as well. So I got it at a good price, and this is great. I must admit, I read about their original version of this, the old wooden one, way back in a magazine years and years ago, because old fellas like me used to have to read about wood things in magazines and books. There was no YouTube. Yeah, so that said, I've wanted the earlier version of this for years, and now I've got the latest version with all the bells and whistles and the little offset fence. Look, that's great. If you like it and it's the sort of thing you want, wait till I've got another special on it and grab one, they're great. Alright, hopefully it's been a useful video. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day and bye for now.